Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Good afternoon. You're welcome to the Studio of Leadership podcast from a very hot Abuja. You're welcome to this program. You're on to the tourism segment of Money Radio. And we are discussing an issue that is developing in the country, rail transportation. And we're discussing how it is affecting tourism. To me, in the studio to discuss that is Joseph Babade. Joseph, you're welcome. Joseph is no stranger in the studio. He has been here before. On my far left there is Mr. Inosa Osireka. Inosa Osireka. That name was strange to me. Today is my first time hearing it. You're welcome, Inosa. This one, Jerry Emerson. He's an in-house analyst, and I'm your host, Keith Hammond. In the studio here also is our morale booster. Her name is Blessing Dari. Blessing, you're welcome.
Thank you so
You don't
much.
have access to her. Your eyes don't have access to her.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. Hi,
So,
everyone.
the issue we're discussing, rail transportation. Of course, transportation and tourism are virtually inseparable. You can't have tourism without transportation because it's about movement from your place of dwelling to a more beautiful or a more entertaining place. And so the mode of transportation in the country is actually important, and we have our roads are failing somehow, but we see that the federal government is investing more in rail transportation. So we want to discuss today how rail transportation is going to contribute to tourism in the country. Um, Joseph. Joseph and Inosa are actually from Adventure Seeker Core Group. So welcome. We kick off with you.
So, when we're talking about rail transport and how we can say it as like a form of beneficial to tourism. Yes, just like what you said, there's no way we can separate both because even you being on a train movement is a tourism on its own.
Yes.
There are situations whereby you're traveling and you're seeing things, formation of rocks, that you have to take pictures and all those things. Even people, you also meet people, all those things are part of tourism on its own. Those are the things you can't do when you are flying.
Yes.
Because you can't do that when you're on a vehicle, on a moving vehicle.
Yes.
So, to me, of course, it's something that has to do with tourism. It's not what we can separate at all.
Yeah, that's true. Jerry, bring us up to pace. How far are we now in the development of the rail transportation in the country? Before now, actually, rail transportation had become moribund. If you don't mind, in Kuma, it was in Kuma. But we see that there are some improvement in recent years. Thanks to the previous government, the immediate past government, and then this one,
The groundwork.
they laid the groundwork, and then this one has improved on it. Where are we going? Bring us up to pace, first of all.
Okay, it's quite exciting to see that we have, we are doing a lot around the rail development. We've seen that the Warri-Itakpe rail line is functional as it is now. Aside from, we also have the Lagos-Kano, Lagos-Kano rail line is up and running, and we also have the Abuja-Kaduna rail line. So and several other ones that some other ones that are still in the works. So it's interesting because Nigerians are beginning to experience a different aside from road transport. Nigerians are beginning to experience rail transportation.
Yeah, before now, Even in a place like Lagos, there was virtually no real, except from somewhere in Ogun State. The name of that town I've forgotten. But somewhere in Ogun State, they're close to Ota. Yes, down to Uyimbu. Yes, that is Uyimbu. That area, you had a functional rail there, but it's improved. The last time I was in Lagos, I saw that there was serious improvement, and this government has actually tried to step up. Actually, if you look at there is a project already that even supposed to link Niger Republic. That is going to add.
That's in the works.
Yeah, and then you have this one that was proposed in the 2017 budget, if I'm not making a mistake. They're supposed to link Lagos with the southeast all the way down to the Calabar area or Akwa Ibom area. That's a huge project actually, and that is supposed to actually improve on tourism also. So, sir, what do you think is the future? Talking about rail transportation in Nigeria and how it's going to contribute to um, tourism sector.
Talking about tourism, you heard the word tourism. It involves movement, seeing things, in fact, writing down what you observe. So talking about rail transport, it's going to be really beneficial for the tourism industry. First, traveling on a train, you can imagine the type of things you see along the way. These are not regular stuff you see when traveling within town. So talking about the future of rail transport to tourism in the future, we can say if the government should look towards that angle, it's something that will benefit the tourism industry. Because a lot of persons want to travel, they want to explore. Because of let's say, the security situation on ground now, a lot of persons avoid using the roads. But if the government should invest more on modern trains, let me emphasize modern trains, you can see a lot of persons will be interested in traveling. You mentioned the Itakpe to Warri rail line. There are a lot of things you see on the way when traveling along that route. Talking about the rocks, the coastal lines, the water, these are things that tourists love seeing. And if the government should invest more on trains, I think it will help tourism to boost further. It will help
There is a
tourism.
rail line here in Abuja, a rail line that links the airport.
Yes, city center to the airport.
The last time I was in a train was 1991. That's about 30 years. Yes, 1991. That's about 30 years now. But I used to enjoy the train ride. During those days, we would call it a rail bus. It was much like what you saw on the screen a moment ago. It was a rail bus. Not only that yeah, that's a real bus. Not only was it enjoyable, it was faster. Because when you are traveling by road, take for example, you are traveling from Lagos to Abuja-Kaduna, you have to pass through those bends and touch. When you are constructing roads, you see they have to avoid many things. But in the construction of rail lines, there are a few things you avoid. So the movement is just straight. And like you mentioned, security is less of a concern when it comes to rail transportation. But not only that, you see many things, and it's a good time actually to chat. It's more comfortable in a real. So that alone, like Joseph said, that alone is actually tourism. Now we are looking at how rail transportation is going to improve the tourism sector. We're talking about speed. Speed.
even in terms of luggage.
Luggage.
Yes.
Yes.
Carry as much luggage. Yes. And again, it's cheaper to
It
travel
is
by
cheaper.
train,
Yeah, that is true.
because you find out that if you compare it with road transport, it's a difference. And talking about safety, as it is now in Nigeria, it's a lot safer, and it's also a lot cheaper.
What a beautiful sight to behold here. Now, rail transportation, we're talking about safety and other things. But if you look at the popularity of rail transportation, let's look at the popularity of rail transportation. Even though the government is improving in that area, but can we say rail transportation is popular enough for Nigerians to patronize? Joseph, what do you think?
Honestly, to me, I don't think so, because a lot of people still feels, where am I going? Like, it's not like we have that train movement within the city center.
Yeah.
Instead of everybody driving all the way from Airport Road to town, or from Kuba Road to town, or Kefi Road to town, it's not like we have a train services that ply those roads. So a lot of people may feel it's not part of my day-to-day routine. So I don't have anything to do going to train station. So to us, it's not really well known. It's not that popular yet. You understand? Unless we have people that are into tourism, or people that love to travel, people that want to explore and decide, oh, okay, I'm going to, for instance, by December, I'll be traveling to Delta State, and I'll be going by road from Abuja to Kogi to Itakpe. And from Itakpe, we're taking a train to Delta State. You understand? So some people may just decide that, that may be special for me. Let me just drive down all the way, or let me just board the vehicle from Abuja straight to Delta. Because they still don't understand that it's far safer and it's better on a train.
Now, there's an important issue I wanted to raise now, but I think we should take a breather right now. Let's take a break. When we come back, then I'll raise that issue and discuss it. So, listeners, please stay tuned with us. And by the time we come back, we are going to discuss some future aspects of rail transportation and tourism in Nigeria. Stay tuned.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back to you, our loyal listeners. It's my pleasure again to discuss this issue with you, tourism and transportation, especially rail transportation. In the studio discussing that, we have Joseph Babadi, we have at far left Inosa Osireka, sorry, the regular Jerry Emerson, and I'm your host, Case Hammer. So, just before we went on that break, I was thinking about an issue. Imagine this government or the government that succeeds this government built a rail line from a place like Lagos to the east. What impact would that have on tourism generally? And then let's not talk about the economy, but let's talk about tourism. What impact will it have on tourism? Sir, let's talk about that. What impact would that have on tourism?
A lot of impacts. A lot of impacts. You can imagine traveling from Lagos to the east on a train.
Yeah.
You can see that a lot of tourist attraction will be on the way. And you likely enjoy when traveling on a train ride. Imagine from Lagos to somewhere like to Imo State or Anambra State. In addition to, let's say, things you see on the way as an adventurer, it's also safe for you because the reports of you coming from the east to from Lagos to the east, it will be faster for you compared to when you are using the vehicle, and it will be cheaper. And as a tourist, you are going to explore. A lot of tourists we know today do not actually have the means to sustain themselves. So in order for them to be economical, train transport will be very helpful to them while going for adventures. You can imagine if there's a train from Lagos to the east, how cheap it will be compared to when you are using a flight or you are using a vehicle. I think it will have a very positive effect on adventures if the government should invest on rail, for example, from Lagos to the east. It will have a great effect.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, my colleague has said it all, and that's just the truth. See, if we can have something like that from Lagos to the east, it will really help a lot of people. It's not like a vehicle where when it breaks down, you'll be scared, oh, where am I going to sleep? Or, okay, if I'm going on a long journey, I need to have money and extra money for hotel accommodation and all that. Even the train itself, it's comfortable for you to sleep. And all those things is just part of the tourism.
So, I look at it also, it has some extended benefits. When you look at the possibility, let's look at it with our mind's eyes. If there were real transportation from a place like Lagos to the east, there are many people who don't go because our brothers from the east actually love to go home during a time like this Yuletide season. But many of them don't go because sometimes they fear security issues, sometimes they fear long rides, sometimes they fear accidents, they fear so many things. And like I said, I'm trying to avoid going into the economic aspects. That's of course, economics and tourism they are intertwined, but I don't want to go into that now. But if you look at it, more people will actually take advantage of rail transportation from Lagos to the east and from the east to Lagos if there was such a thing. Because when you just the other day, I'm on a platform that discussed that just between that Lagos, that's Shagam area, and the east, you come across up to 90. When I say 90, I'm not talking about 19, 90 checkpoints. All of that is discouraging. It's discouraging, really. It discourages, serious delays, and those very checkpoints may even contribute to insecurity. Because when you have to stop people for such, the place, in fact, the highway will become a go slow, really. So when you had, if you had something like that, it will really help in encouraging more people to take advantage and travel during times like this. It will add to tourism, and that tourism segment will actually explode. Yes, in a way. Of course, we talked about security, and all of that is involved. So looking at it with the eyes of our minds, I think it's a very good thing that the federal government expands. We can praise the federal government right now for all they have done in improving rail transportation. We have it from Abuja to Kaduna.
Yes.
Yes.
We have from Kogi now to Delta.
To Delta. We have just, in fact, there's one that the Lagos State government is building from the island all the way to, is it Badagry? I'm not sure it's Badagry, but at least up to Okuko, which many commuters are going to take advantage of. That is a positive thing. The rail transportation is something that really needs to be encouraged, and not only that it should be encouraged by from the standpoint of the federal government, but it needs to be marketed also. Rail transportation is not popular yet. There are still many empty seats.
It's not popular yet because the routes, so the routes are very few.
The routes are few. The routes may not even be that popular.
So if there's a rail line that goes right into the north, aside from Kano, that will also allow people, because there are a lot of people aside from the security, in the north, there are people who are not been to the north before from the east.
Yes.
So people will want to travel because this is rail, it's safer, right?
Yeah.
And the route. So I could just go across, get over there, and then move around. So if that is available, it will help people, it will help the tourism industry.
Yes, it will be
to move around and get to see places. Like for me personally, I wish to go to Yankari Park. About you.
Not by road.
But not by road. Not by road. So that will help, and government and of course tour agencies like you guys should also try to encourage people to buy into train transportation.
I have a question for the three of you. Of course, I'm not going to answer that question. How many of you have ridden in the train?
I have.
Have you?
Yes.
From where to where?
From Abuja-Kaduna.
And relate your experience. Was it a pleasant ride?
It was. It really was. We went to Ariwa House in Kaduna.
I know, I'm talking about the train. Your experience on the
It
train.
was really smooth. Like, I slept in the train.
How many hours?
It was like, I think like one to 2 hours.
Whereas driving from here to Kaduna is about 4 hours. So if you can use the train, that's encouraging. Sir, have you?
Awesome, smooth.
Okay, I had a funny experience when the last time I went to Kaduna by train. It was me and my friend Ifeolu Alawa and a female Amaka. We drove to Ido. Everything was smooth. The train station, in fact, you feel so comfortable like you're at the airport. The restroom, everything was just okay. We ordered the train and we kept going. We're just going to Kaduna. We're actually going to one of the tourist centers there. And we got to Kaduna, only for me to check time. It was almost 6. And we needed to come back because we didn't plan that we were going to sleep over. So we had to start taking bike, do all manner of things, take care, just to make sure we got back to the train station. And when the train tells you they are moving by 6, once it's 6, they'll move.
Yes.
So I was left because I was trying to get my ticket, and the person selling the ticket was trying to come close to me. Ogate, the policeman at the train, the entrance, your ticket, and the train was already about to move. So I had to just get the ticket and just jump in, and everybody just busted. We were just laughing and all this. So to me, it's really comfortable. It's smooth. It's convenient.
It keeps to time.
Yes.
Probably more timely than the airlines.
Of course, you're not subjected to all these check-ins. Like you have an airport.
And the one thing I like about train ride also is that for people who want to go to the restrooms, you don't have to ease themselves. You don't have to say stop and then you expose yourself to security threats. It's just a smooth thing. They have those facilities on the train, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Clean ones.
Yes.
You can even go with your food, your drinks. You bring out your table.
Do they
You can
serve?
even buy. They sell it inside the train. Yeah.
And with good music, of course. Oh,
You mean it?
oh.
But the current challenge now is ticket racketeering.
Yes, that's true.
That is what I think was last week, where the platform where you buy online crashed, and people were, from what I heard, reports that I heard, people were made to pay exorbitant.
You are very correct.
I can assure you, Jerry, that problem will be solved soon. We are still in a trial period. The train services are not that popular in Nigeria yet. But once we are getting to that point, those issues will be sorted out. I'm fairly confident. So let's come to a close with that for today's morning reading. I've been on to the tourism segment of the show. In the studio with me has been Joseph Babade, Inosa Osireka, Jerry Emerson, our regular face on this segment, and I've been your host, Case Hammond. We say thanks to all of you who have been following us, and even our motivator in the studio. We say thanks. That is Blessing Diary. We say thanks to our producers, and our thanks go to you more who loyally follow us on this show. Stay with us. Tomorrow, another edition of Morning Radio comes to your phones. Yes, come to your phone, and it's something that will be a bumper edition. You will enjoy it, it's a promise. Until then, COVID-19 is real. Stay safe and stay blessed.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.